Welcome to the BFF Report. I'm your host, Mike B, aka Phony, and today's game is World of Tanks. This is a bit of a unique kind of game in a sense that it's not really an MMO per se. It's kind of like the Huxley setup, you know, where you get the matches and then you have the social area. Well, actually, no, there isn't even really a social area. It's like a chat room while you're hanging out in your garage. But it's an MMO nonetheless. It's free to play, and let's take a look at the game.
Yeah, character creation. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's not character creation at all. They actually just start you off with a couple tanks, the MS-1 and the Lycan Tractor. This thing is a basic unit. You start off with no options for upgrades. You have to get in there and do some matches before you can earn experience to unlock things or money to buy items to upgrade your stuff. As you can see here, I'm swapping things in and out. And as you can see, the physical characteristics of my tank is changing just ever so slightly. And it's just enough so that you can notice and the seasoned professional will be able to see, oh wow, that basic tank really put some time into it. I guess it's gonna take me 1.5 shots to take him out. GG. You also have crew that plays key roles in how your tank operates. And here's basically the breakdown. The more training that your guys have, in other words, the higher the percentage here, the better your tank operates, or the better it locks onto targets, or the better or the faster that things get fixed when things go wrong. Now there's 3 types of currencies in this game. There's gold, there's like silver coin, which is just kind of like general money to throw at things, and then there's experience. And in experience, there's actually 2 tiers. There's free experience, which you can apply to anything in the tech tree, and then there's a specific tank experience. So whenever you play with a tank, that tank will earn experience, and on top of that, you'll earn free experience that you could go and move to anything else. You can't upgrade another tank based off of, let's say, the MS-1's performance. That means if you get a new tank, you actually have to go and play matches with it in order to get upgrades. This is not your standard talent tree type setup that you see in maybe other games that start with World of. It's not like that at all. You start off with earning experience, and that experience will allow you to purchase upgrades once you put them into your tank. Now, once you get to a certain point, you unlock the next tier down, and now you are allowed to purchase that new tank. Gold coin seems to be a premium. Now, it's something that you could use to buy things that you would normally expect in other free-to-play games to be a premium item. For example, an extra slot, or maybe an extra crew member or something. In some cases, you can actually buy tanks using coin. As of right now, there are 5 different types of tanks. There's light vehicles, medium vehicles, heavy vehicles, tank destroyers, and SPGs, which is your artillery. For the sake of time, we're just gonna focus on light vehicles and artillery because those are 2 by far polar opposites in gameplay. Light vehicles, you're all up in someone's face, you're running circles around them. Artillery, you're kind of hiding like a bitch and sniping people. Not saying that's a bad thing though. All right, now that we're actually in the game, let's go ahead and take a minute to break down the UI. In the upper left and upper right corner, you see we have lists of names here. The upper left corner, that's my team and how many people I have. Once it turns red, that means the guy's dead and he's out of action. On the right-hand side, same exact thing. In the lower right corner, you have your mini-map. As you can see, there's green dots and there's red dots. The green dots are the good guys, the red dots are the bad guys. But you cannot see the red dots until one of your green guys spots the red guy. This means if you're artillery and you have nobody out in the field looking out for bad guys, you are screwed because you will actually not be able to see them. Like you can't pan over the landscape looking for tanks unless they've been spotted by somebody else on the ground. And now in the lower left-hand corner, you have the tank status. It shows the overall health of the tank, and then it breaks down each component of the tank and shows you the status of those items as well. The reason why it's broken out per component is because each one of those components can be damaged when you take a shot, or if somebody like rams you or something. Here's an example of me taking a hit, and now I've lost complete functionality of my turret.
Try rotating the turret slowly. It should be working now.
The center of the screen holds 2 circular reticules. The dashed one is where my turret's aiming, the solid one is where my camera's aiming, and is also where the turret will move unless I have it locked on someone. Notice the dashed one increasing and decreasing in size. This is representing my accuracy, which is affected by my tank's current status. Am I moving? Am I zoomed in? Am I taking it up the yang by an 88mm Prometheus shell? You know, important stuff. Targeting is an auto-lock system that allows you to perform evasive maneuvers while still maintaining a generally accurate lock on the target. This is by no means easy mode. A lot of times you'll find yourself disabling the auto-lock and just firing manually. Matchmaking, so far as I can tell, is not necessarily based off of skill so much as based off of the type of tank that you're running with. As you can see by this chart here that the World of Tanks guys have posted to the website, you're not going to be running around in a top tier tank stomping noobs, and vice versa, you're not going to be a noob getting completely stomped by somebody who's in a tank that's well out of your league. Going back to the garage, notice I have several tanks here lined up, and let's say I take the MS-1 to battle and I get totally annihilated. I don't have to sit there and wait for that battle to end in order for me to go back and play again. I can exit the battle and then go and choose another tank and then continue playing. But once you start acquiring more tanks, you're pretty much going to have non-stop action. Light tanks are pretty agile and really shine when it comes to strafing a tank destroyer or artillery. They also take the hills quite well, unlike other vehicles. Being light in armor also means you are prone to taking more varying types of damage when engaged with others. Artillery opens up a completely different gameplay style as the main function is to hide and lob shells. Typically other people on the team will volunteer to watch your back while you do your thing, but if everyone in the field is taken out, you're pretty much running blind. Right now, artillery is kind of considered to be the most OP class in the game. I think it's more of a, you're doing it wrong sort of thing. If you're a light tank, you should immediately be running all the way around the map and looking for artillery guys. You could see at the beginning of the game if there's artillery in the match, so stop crying and go do your job. Gameplay and responsiveness is what you'd expect from, a tank. It's slow as balls, it turns like crap, and if you slam on the brakes, you're gonna need to take a secondary target. Basically, working as intended. And that's a good thing, by the way. The graphics are pretty good. They don't go over the top with glow or anything, and you could flatten trees, which is pretty awesome. I suppose if you wanted, you could go through and find a few things that are off here and there, but unless you're one of those guys that stops to stare at every other rock.
This gotta be the most pretty rock I done ever seen. Hey, Clarence, come on over here. Look at this rock. You ever seen a rock like this? Dang.
Going through the game's forums, I see that there's actually a pretty nice little metagame going here where people are reskinning their tanks and kind of showing them off. Now, there are some questionable ones, but for the most part, they're pretty good, especially if you're into pink.
Again, the game it's tanks. Like, really, what else can I say? It's, you're driving around in a tank. Your expectations aren't necessarily set very high, right? When you're told you're gonna be driving around in a tank. We did have a chance to hit up the CEO of Wargaming at GDC 2010, and he did say that there are other things planned. I want to say he said something about campaign mode and something called world domination, which to me sounds kind of like Global Agenda's territorial defense type setup. I'm sure we're gonna get more information on that somewhere down the road. But for now, I'm going to BlizzCon today, so I'll see you guys next week.